Hold on 1 second. Let me make sure the mic is set up right. I hope all is well and is not. So let me right there. Bam. Got it right there. We're good to go. Let me check one more spot, you guys, and then we're going to go ahead and get this thing cracking. Before we get started, guys, make sure you go to dynastymirror.com. Again, go to dynastymirror.com. Buy some merchandise, buy some books while you are there. Also, join the email list. Again, please join the email list. Again, join the email list. Let me check this one more time. And then after you go to dynastymirror.com, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the platform. Really means a lot. We really could use your guys' support. And then Patreon. Become a monthly Patreon. Patreon.com. Search for Uhuru. Again, patreon.com. Search for Uhuru. Support Black media. Become a monthly Patreon. Contribute, you guys, so we can continue to tell our own story and share our own narrative. We have no, Kala, I'll send you the link, Kala. I'll send you the link. No, Kala's not off tonight. If Kala wants to come on, brother Kala, we could rise up as well, because I know you definitely have something to add to this. But with that being said, I'd love for brother Kala to come on. I got brother Brandon on, Afrikanism Strikes Back. He's I think he has a wardrobe malfunction, so he's changing his shirt. But I would like for women, okay, if you are a woman, you, I guess, support Ruth Ginsburg. Hopefully I pronounced her name right. If you support Ruth, call in. If you feel as if Ruth being at the Supreme Court was a win for you as a Black woman. Again, if you feel as if Ruth Ginsburg, her Supreme Court, being appointed to the Supreme Court, if you are a Black woman and you feel that that was a win for you, I would love for you to call in and explain how Black women won because of Ruth Ginsburg. So if you guys don't know, Ruth Ginsburg, Supreme Court Justice, a Supreme Court Justice, I think that's the correct term, passed away yesterday, right? She passed away. And I see a lot of Black people, like, especially Black women, who are like, yeah, she paved the way for women like me. And I'm kind of confused. Like, are you Black first or are you a woman first? And the reason why I asked that question, me being a Black man, when I worked in corporate America, and I noticed that upper management, when you got to the executive level, were all white men, I didn't take that as a win for Black men. But for some reason, I see a lot of Black women, because of Ruth Ginsburg being, I guess, on the Supreme Court and her being a woman, they're taking that as a win. So I just like to understand why. How is that a win for Black women? Like, I just like to understand why and how she paved the way. There we go. Paved the way. There we go. Thank you, Mr. Giles. Paved the way. I'd like to know how Ruth Ginsburg paved the way for Black people and paved the way for Black women specifically. So if you are a Black woman and you're watching this and you feel as if she paved the way for you, by all means, I'll send a link in about 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes. We're going to open up the lines. You're more than welcome to call in and explain how she paved the way for you. Because me being a Black man who worked in corporate America, if I would have told my brother Brandon, like, hey, all of these white men in these executive roles, all these white men in upper level management, they have paved the way for us Black men, Brandon would have looked at me like I was smoking that on that narcotic. So, for real. So, I like to know how Ruth paved the way for Black women. Brandon has changed his shirt. Brandon, go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, man. So basically, Ruth Bader Ginsburg is basically known as like the Thurgood Marshall of the women's rights movement, which basically is saying that she worked, as hard or more hard than Thurgood Marshall for the plight of women in America, you know, as he did for African Americans. Pretty much the women supporting her are feminists, and they're actually feminists with bad historical knowledge, right? Because if you really look at Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she really didn't support most of the things that she really didn't support, most of the things that women, especially Black women nowadays, claim to desire when it comes to, women's rights. She didn't support abortion. She didn't support nationwide abortion. She said that Roe versus Wade is going too far, too fast. She didn't, there's just many things she didn't support. And actually, most of the cases that she defended, the people she represented when she was a lawyer, were men who basically were trying to manipulate the things that women got and get them for themselves. Like one of the cases one of the guys she represented was, there used to be a law where if a husband died, the widow was able to stay at home more and receive a check from the government so that she could spend more time with the kids, if she had to enter the workforce. So she would be able to work a little bit and get a check. You used to be able to get a check if you were a woman and your husband died. There were men who wanted to manipulate this. Their wife died. They say, hey, I don't want to go to work. I want to stay home with the kids. And before, men were not allowed to take advantage of those allowances. And so many men went to go before the Supreme Court and argue that it's unconstitutional that women get to do something that they can't do, right? So the little bit of exclusivity, or like the few things that were really cool about being a woman back in the day, she actually helped men take those things away and make them universal, much like how they took civil rights away from Black people and made it represent everybody. So really the people who support her and are crying are feminists. You even got one person in the comments talking about, I know we're not about to slander her. Look, man, the lady.
What's crazy, Brandon? I want to interject on that. When Herman Cain died, Herman Cain passed away from coronavirus. Well, right. Complications to coronavirus, but he had cancer. Everybody, oh man, he caught coronavirus at the Trump rally. Oh, that's what he get for going to the Trump rally. So it's like people on the right. People on the right are fair game, but people on the left, I guess. Will they say, oh, we didn't allow her body to get cold? At least wait for the body to get cold. But people on the right are fair game. But go ahead, Brandon. I guess that's the mentality.
I mean, that speaks to the practice of Black people of practicing partisan politics. We want what we want, but we only want it from one side of the aisle. We won't even entertain the other side of the aisle, even if they're giving us exactly what we're asking for. And as I asserted to you in a personal conversation, this is why our vote will soon be obsolete, because we don't go out and we don't sell our vote to the highest bidder, right? Who's giving us the most. The vote's going to the Democrats, no matter what. If the Democrats don't give us what we want, then we're not going to vote, And so we'll slander our own when people are conservatives. They're dead to us, right? Herman Cain, guys like that, they're nobody to us if they're conservatives. But if they're Democrats, they don't even got to be Black. So what we've done is we've gotten to the point where we're actually confusing, being a Democrat, with being Black. And it used to be the other way around. Didn't matter which side of the aisle you were on. If you were Black, you were Black, But now, if you Democrat, you good as Black. If you're a feminist, you're good as Black, despite what your record says, despite, what you actually did. And I don't really see Ruth Bader Ginsburg as someone who actually advanced anything for Black people. She advanced things for white women and white men. I don't even know she ever really even represented any Black people. But they put her on the Supreme Court, so all of a sudden she's the next coming of, our Lord and Savior Sky Daddy. But we just love to we love to we love to lament and cry and mourn and throw ashes on our skull for any white person that died that they tell us is somebody prominent, but I really don't see it, you know.
Yeah, because I keep seeing these posts like, oh my God, she passed away. Oh my God. Like, you know what, Brandon, this reminds me of when Donald Trump took out that Iranian general that no one even knew existed before Donald Trump took him out. You would have thought Donald Trump killed Malcolm X.
And Iranians hate black people. Iranians hate black people. I'm telling you that right now. They hate black people. There's a whole community of them up in Irvine over here in California. They can't stand blacks. But anybody,
yeah,
black
off of Westwood. Off of Westwood.
Yeah.
Off of Westwood.
Black people sympathize with China. And then the Chinese, they were sympathizing with China. And then the Chinese start mistreating black people in China. And it was like, oh my God, look at Chinese mistreat. They've never liked you. But you should bring on this Louisiana because this lady's talking about. Yeah,
Louisiana. Hey, Louisiana, send me an email. Louisiana, send me an email, and I will send you the link, brother. Or I don't know, brother, sister. I'm not sure.
Yeah, she's saying that she allowed black people to get to where they are now. How? She always voted moderate. The Supreme Court.
Louisiana, send me an email. My email's in the chat room. Send me an email, and I will send you the link, and you can come on and state your case.
Listen, right, cool. They thought she was a liberal, bro. Dinus. This is what she did. She pretended to be a liberal, but then when she got on the Supreme Court, she didn't make any landmark decisions. She was a moderate. That means she voted equally. Well, she mostly voted with the conservative white males. She voted with them. So most of her votes were against Thurgood Marshall, right? So why are we celebrating this person? Because she's in the ACLU? Like, what has the ACLU done for black people? You know? So we're programmed, just like Kyla said in the comments, is Democratic, program. Demobot.
Yeah,
we're programmed.
Yeah,
anything Democrat, anything associated with Democrat feminism is good. Anything concerned with conservatism, which is what we need, because we need to start learning how to be more conservative, is bad. And that's why we're on the path that we're on. I mean, people literally, before you even said, well, I hope we're not bashing her. And if we are, so what? She's a Jewish white woman who don't give a damn about you. So why are you ready to go jump on the sword for her?
Right. So Louisiana, I sent you the link. Send me an email. Call in. Brandon, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Is it just me? Like, is it just me? Like, I don't get it. And these are some of the most intelligent brothers and sisters I know that are overly emotional over Ruth Ginsburg. And I'm trying to figure out why.
Well, they're intelligent, but they don't have emotional intelligence. There's a difference, you know. Mm-hmm. A lot of people have the book smarts, but they don't have the horse sense to know that you can't spend time mourning the death of someone who essentially is your enemy, right? Just because she ain't out there in the street calling you the NIGGER doesn't mean that she's helping you. She pretty much straddled the fence, and in true black people fashion, we put her up on a pedestal. Like, what has she ever put on the line for us? You know what I'm saying? To date, the only politician I've ever there's a guy in Georgia, you know, Vernon Jones. He's the only politician I've ever seen get on stage and actually say the word black. And what are they going to do for black people? Everybody else is talking about people of color. You know what I'm saying? They ain't talking about black specifically. So, yeah, these people have...
Hey, Brandon, so Kamala Harris is going to do an interview with Lizzo.
Oh, man. No, bro. See, that's the disrespect. That's the disrespect. And it gets to the point where, and I was talking to you today, you know, about the Negro chilling circuit. Are you here to be entertained or are you here to be educated, right? Because we already educated everybody about how Joe Biden disrespected him by doing interviews with Cardi B.
Right.
But now they're going to do Lizzo, which is what they understand. Our people want entertainment more than they want education or tangibles or action. They want entertainment. And just like Tom Joyner said, you got to make black people laugh, he was basically selling out your brain he was making white people understand your brain, which is once you get them entertained, once they're excited, they shut their minds off and they'll let anything go by. Why would you put that big buffoon on TV and let her speak on anything that's going on with our people? And that should be enough for me to let Kamala Harris know, well, you sealed your fate, because now we're never going to vote for you. Because when it's the Indians, she's putting on celebrities who are like, have cooking shows and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And they're not talking politics. You know what I'm saying? They get on there and say, hey, we're going to cook a nice dinner. They don't talk about the politics of the Indians, who she really represents, because if they did, you would understand that they're basically trying to take everything you got and she's trying to give it to them. So now we're going to get Lizzo on TV up in front of the world so that she can publicize our shame. And I'm sure Lizzo is not going to disappoint when it comes to buck dancing and chitlin eating and just being retarded, being a mammy, twerk dancing on behalf of white supremacy. So, this is how
right, so here we go, guys. Lizzo and Kamala Harris to discuss the 2020 election for National Black Voters Day.
Was that yesterday? Did she already interview him?
I mean, hold on. Let's see. What day is this? But the thing is, this is going to be what day is? I don't know. But the thing is, there's so many qualified people, intellectuals that should be having this conversation.
Who would you have her interview, bro?
Because I would rather see damn Cornel West.
No, listen, bro. But when you say qualified, when you really look at it, we don't have anyone who's qualified. We don't have anybody. Like Lizzo's not qualified. Cornel West, he's buck dancing every chance he gets because the guy's getting paychecks from white people. He used to be real. Now he's talking about, it's a love thing. And it's a love thing. Ain't nothing about tangibles. Ain't nothing about what you're going to do for our people. It's all about love. He's a humanist now, which means you in the pocket of white folks, so you can't speak your mind. So who do we have who's qualified? The only person...
A humanist. Humanist.
Yeah, he's a humanist. So the thing is, we don't really have... Our qualified people are on YouTube. But most of the people... And most of the people we think are qualified on YouTube aren't qualified on YouTube. Like, Donis, I'm going to be real. You're probably one of the best interviewers, black interviewers there is. Yeah, Dr. Umar Johnson. I would go with Dr. Umar Johnson. I don't know about Claude Anderson. Maybe him too. But the thing is, you're probably, like, literally, our people are looking at the best we have to offer. And I'm not saying that in an egotistical way. What I'm saying is people who can look at information, break it down logically based on the good it does for us. When you think about it based on that criteria, you're looking at the best we got. Me, you, Kala, Black Ambassadors, Lou Major, people like that. We're the last ones left because everybody else is either a slave to the algorithm, which the white man control. Ooh, it's gonna make my life go down. Or they're a direct slave to the pockets of white supremacy. Everyone's selling out while we over here selling t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? We trying to make it happen.
Yeah, we're trying to make it happen.
We trying to make it happen while giving y'all the info. But y'all like, yo, no. We still want to go stick our finger in the boo-boo, before we eat. Instead of saying, nah, we need to be focused. We need to have a plan for ourselves. Each individual person has a responsibility to do something, right? And do it. Like the one dude said, ask not what your country could do for you, but what you could do for your country. Ask not what the black nation could do for you, but ask what you can do for the black nation, And I know, and wise linguists, I know a lot of people, bro. And I know a lot of intellectuals. And let me tell you, that ain't it. We got the intellectual chitlin circuit going.
Intellectual chitlin circuit. Guys, hit that like button. We have almost 200 people watching. Please hit that like button again, please.
Yeah, if you watch this every day, and Dinah's still got to tell you to hit the like button, you not on code. And the same people talking about not being on code, because you talk about something, you can't even get on code to hit the like button. And the guy brings you the best information in the, period. And really gets to the nitty gritty while also doing so. Like, I get an email from Dinah every morning, bro. I literally be like, how does this man do it? Because I ain't sending y'all no email every morning. I'm gonna start to write and be like, damn, them fools, they probably over there laid up with a white woman. I'm gonna just go do what I do. But I get an email from you every morning, Dinus. You're trying to build the relationship while producing the tangibles to help the nation get on its feet. These people won't even hit the like button to give you some more inspiration so you can continue to do what you do and show you that they're down with you. But let the white man tell them, y'all need to all mourn the loss of this old decrepit cracker. Oh my God, RBG. When they said RBG is dead, I thought it was one of the Hebrew Israelites trying to insult Pan-Africanism, bro.
Right.
I was like, who? I'm like, they talking shit again. I got on my thing to look. There's an old decrepit white woman. I'm like, oh, hell no. Y'all should be ashamed that she can even be associated with those letters.
All right, guys. So someone in the chat room mentioned something about building a school in Africa. So with that being said, guys, I have adopted a school in Sierra Leone, and so we are raising money for school fees. So guys, if you please could go to africapersonified.org. africapersonified.org. That's it right there. This is my nonprofit. All right, 501c3, so all contributions are tax deductible. All right, again, africapersonified.org. Again, we are raising money for school fees for the school that I have adopted in Bo, Sierra Leone. What you do, you go to Ways to Help, click on the donate button, donate today, and then bam, it will bring you to the PayPal link to donate. Again, all donations are tax deductible. Again, this is for the school that I am supporting in Bo, Sierra Leone. So again, guys, go to africapersonified.org. Again, africapersonified.org. Again, it's a free will offering. Click donate. Go to donate today and make your donation, guys. Thank you so much.
Put up $5, man. Like, that's the thing, man. It's like me, I'm a person who I donate to everybody. I donated to Angela Stanton in Georgia. I donate to Joe Collins in California. I mean, even if they not really, they're not Pan-Africanists, they're not like get out of America, but I just support my people because I know it's how hard it is for us to get the same support as everybody else, and that's what I notice is the biggest thing, like Ruth Bader Ginsburg could get all types of lip service because that's why they do it, Dinus. That's why they mourn it, because the only thing they're required to do is to pretend to be sad. And black people love virtue signaling. They don't give a damn. They don't give a damn about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, just like they didn't give a damn about George Floyd. But it's easy to pretend to care about something. It's hard. It's difficult for the Negro to act in his own best interest. Walk down the street. Walk down the street to go pick you a butter biscuit up off the corner is way harder than just look out the window and yell at the person and say he racist because he didn't bring the butter biscuit to your front doorstep. You know what I mean? Like that's easy, right? So yeah. Hey, I believe Asia. I do believe Ruth Bader Ginsburg died like 5 years ago because, man, the way she looked like Stephen Hawking sitting up in that damn chair before she died. I said, God damn. Like, how is she still on the court doing anything? How is she communicating? Sign language? Like, is they literally lift their hand up and like sign in the paper? Like, I'm sorry. I'm lost on the sympathy for the deceased crackers, dude. I'm sorry. Yeah, RBG wasn't about nothing. You 100% right. She was pretty much she was a non-committal, fence straddling, what is it called? Do nothing, lame duck type of court justice. That's what she was. Like, I'm at a loss, Dinus, and I'm not usually at a loss, but I'm at a loss when it comes to why black people even care that this lady died. And we was hoping that Louisiana got on here and enlightened us.
I'm waiting for Louisiana. We're waiting for you. Like, I sent the link.
Pretty much it's just feminists. Black women, they still caught up in that feminism. And the funny thing is a lot of feminists are saying that feminism is starting to die because they're like a lot of things that they complained about, they're not even an issue anymore. And there's the last few who holding on to that because saying it's because I'm a woman is still the best excuse they have, the best resource they have to win a frivolous argument. So, it's really bad. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I just sent the link to somebody, and I'm waiting for you to call in. Like, call in, send me an email, and I'll send you the link. Well, I sent you the link already. So, guys, if you want to call in, all right, if you want to come in, join the discussion, preferably women who support Ruth Ginsburg, then by all means, send me email. Send me email, and I'll send you the link. Again, send me an email, and I'll send you the link. Go ahead and call in. I appreciate that, Darren Buckner. Who else? Somebody said. Okay, why donate? Oh, I'm not reading that. Let's see here. Who else is there? Let's see here.
thank you, Trina.
Shout out to Creole Sheila, just donated. Thank you, sister. I appreciate that. Let's see here. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I like Brandon's perspective in his interviews. He keeps it real.
My perspective is too boring, Diners, because it goes from analyzing what's going on to calling on you to do some work. People don't like that. They're like, no, give us some more of that non-committal unaccountability stuff. Can we at least end by blaming it on the white man? And I'm like, nah, we too close to annihilation for all that. We got to get to work. All of us got to work as hard as Diners. If all of us worked as hard as you, Diners, got up off of our asses and cold called, we would literally be able to make some progress. Like, I'm serious. Like, you don't got to be great to get started, but you got to get started to be great.
All right, with that being said, guys, make sure you go to dynastymurder.com and grab a copy of Sales Motivation 101, Get Off Your Ass and Cold Call. Go and grab that. Go to dynastymurder.com and get your copy. There we go.
And it's not just about sales. Like, if you read the book, it doesn't just motivate you to sell things. I mean, literally everything in life is a bartering act. Like, whether you trying to get a job, know how to sell yourself, whether you like, man, I'm over here stuck, don't know what to do. Let me just get off my butt and make some phone calls and see if I can get some ideas. It's all applicable, as opposed to the theoretical knowledge that you continue to learn at these universities that don't guarantee you nothing. I'm telling you, that book will at least guarantees to motivate you. At least it has a motive, right? To motivate you to get up off your butt and make something happen. You rather get the information that has no intention other than keep you distracted.
Okay, here we go. Let me stop. So, Dr. Davina Thomas, are you all aware that she was a civil rights lawyer? I'm not stating she was pro-black, but was pro-woman. All right, so Dr. Davina, are you woman first or are you black first? And how did Ruth Ginsburg benefit black women?
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't get that.
She was pro-woman. Pro-white woman?
Yeah, pro-white woman. There you go. Pro-white woman, of course.
Yeah. Like,
we're not disagreeing with that. Yeah, she was pro-white woman. Yeah.
So let's forget that the white woman is the number one perpetuator of racism in America and all over the world. Let's forget that, Emmett Till and all that, because they're women. Now we got to give them some type of homage or honor, their divine yoni because they're women. That's not how I roll. I don't roll with worshiping the white uterus, which is what you're saying. If it's a uterus involved, it doesn't matter. All offenses are forgiven. She was a civil rights lawyer who represented mostly white men, which helped white men take advantage of the civil rights that were supposed to be exclusively given to you. So Dr. Delvina, the doctorate, I don't know what the doctorate's in. Is it in, something logical? Like, doctor of what? Doctor of culinary arts? Because there's a lot of black people. O'Shea about to be a doctor or something. He probably gonna be more qualified than you.
All right, so Larry Wilson, go to Africa. Oh, I misspelled my own damn website. Go to africapersonified.org. You can go to africapersonified.org. Okay.
I mean, the black women praise the right to abort their own fetus. Even Ruth Bader Ginsburg was against that. So, well, maybe she wasn't with us on one thing. The black people got sense. She was against abortions. So even what y'all love, y'all praise, she was against that. So for all rights and all intents and purposes, she was really against y'all. She basically used the stuff you fought for to gain wins for her people. That's pretty much it. Civil rights, but not for blacks. And we the ones who need civil rights because white people always had civil rights.
You know, white women are the biggest beneficiaries of affirmative action.
Oh yeah, of course. That because well, look, they're the biggest beneficiaries of food stamps and welfare programs too. See, they make us think we're fighting to benefit us, but really we don't because we don't look at things in the scope of population. We can fight for something, but it doesn't matter because white people majority are going to benefit from it. There's more food stamps being given out in a trailer park in Kentucky than in the whole projects in Los Angeles, New York, and anywhere else, Chicago. But we don't look at it like that. We just think, oh well, we gonna get something, and it's for us. It's for us. No, it's not. They're letting you do the footwork for them.
Real quick, let me shout out Vanessa Dantes. Vanessa Dantes, thank you for the donation to the school that I have adopted in Sierra Leone. Thank you so much.
Right.
Vanessa
That's
Dantes.
a person who's about action, Dynasty.
Right.
That's a person who's about action. A lot of people talk about it, but a lot of people ain't gonna be about it, And that's why I'm a straight shooter because a lot of people call on me to be sensitive to the emotions of certain people. I don't care because I'm trying to make a separation between the people who really about this life and the people just sitting over here spectating, right? Formula is no longer the formula, right? You guys can't be on trying to get that baby food. It's time for us to get up and put in work. That woman went. All you had to do was point her in a direction. She went and made it happen. I know a lot of people like that, but then there's also a lot of people who want to sit down and just spectate. And then when Darius is here.
All right, go ahead, Darius.
Yes. Can y'all see me?
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah. Let me turn my cam off real quick. Sorry, it's the setting. Yes, I'll tell the reason why Ruth Bader Ginsburg was important. She was important, yes, specifically for women's rights that do benefit Black women. Yes, Black women are Black, but we forget they are women. Okay, there is a collision that comes there. And what she did for what Ruth Bader Ginsburg did in terms of applying the 14th Amendment to women, which at the time was not there, and therefore women were not treated equally under the law. This is the reason why they had to pass Title IX, which is where we get women's sports. Look at all the professional Black women players out there that came as a result of Title IX, which was also a result of Ruth Bader Ginsburg filing a civil rights report for women in terms of sex discrimination. We keep forgetting as Black men about sexism. It does exist and it does oppress Black women. It was the same reason why during the Black Panthers, there was a split because they refused to address the patriarchy in the community. It is what it is. It's there. And that's why she is admired by a bunch of feminists. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was a pioneer for women's rights. Now you can disagree about it, but that's what it is.
Okay, so you telling me that allowing a bunch of women.
But let me back up. But Darius, you do understand that the majority of these Title IX, because I play college sports.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the sports that benefited from Title IX are sports that the majority of women that participate are non-Black.
Yeah, but at the end of the time, it does pave the way for Black women to get into those fields if they choose to. Now, we can say that maybe due to economics, class, but at the end of the day,
I'll give you a prime example. Because of Title IX at the University of Georgia, they had to, I think it was equestrian.
Mm-hmm.
So they already had women's basketball was predominantly Black. They already had the women on the track and field team was predominantly Black. This is before Title IX. All right. But the sports that were, I guess, the sports that were impacted because of Title IX, like sports like equestrian, I mean, those were predominantly white women. So again, I'm trying to figure out how did Black women benefit. And again, I prefer a Black woman to call in. Like I prefer a Black woman to call in and educate me on how Ruth Ginsburg was a win for Black women. Because again, I'm gonna give this same analogy.
Dynasty.
Hold on, Brand. I work in corporate America. My bad, Brand. I worked in corporate America. When I noticed that the upper executives, upper management was all white men, I didn't go bragging to Black men saying, us Black men, we win, and look at all these white men in these executive roles in upper management. So I'm trying to figure out how the main beneficiaries of Title IX were white women, the majority. So how is this a win for black women?
Like I said, it paves the way, an opportunity for black women to get into the field. If
Right.
that's not there, how
So with
are
that
they
being
going to get
said,
into the
with
field?
all these, so Darius, white men
Yes.
making up upper management roles and executive roles in the C-suite in corporate America has paved the way for us black brothers to get in these fields.
To a certain degree, yes. Not necessarily, not always, but yes, it's the same reason why for the right to vote. Let's compare that to the right to vote. Okay, who got the right to vote first? Black men or white women? And black women. Who got it first?
Black men?
Yes, the 15th Amendment that said that all men have the right to vote. All men, that includes black men. That's why white women were upset when black men got the right to vote. Because when it said all men, that includes black men. It may not benefit us to the greatest degree, but at the end of the day, we had that privilege. Whereas even white women who were supposed to be above us didn't have it, and there were many white women activists who were upset about that. So when we bring that point up, that's what we're talking about. Yes, it may not benefit the way that it's supposed to, because like I said, you have to factor in racism.
But were black men really allowed to vote?
Yeah, like we was getting our asses.
Yeah, I mean, come on,
over
Darius.
that.
In the South, particularly in the South, yes, it was hard for us to
So
vote.
it was all over, man.
Darius, come on, man. Were black men really allowed to vote?
Look, Darius got on here about Biden too, and the thing about you, Darius, is you talk in a very nuanced, like indirect, non-specific, non-committal way. It's not about being a person who can who can speak eloquently or elaborately regurgitate, the company lines of white supremacy, bro. And you've done that a couple times on here. You're gonna have to start giving factual, pinpoint evidence of how this benefited black people, not pave the way. These are all liberal talking points where they talk up to a certain point, Darius, and then they let you assume the rest. And then when you come back and say, well, you told me you was going to do this, they say,
liberal talking points, but yet they're going to bring up the same conservative arguments that Barry Goldwater and Strom Thurmond, who did not believe black people should even have the rights to do anything, who, mind you, had sex with a underage girl, Strom Thurmond. And this is the same ideology that conservatism comes from, because modern conservatism comes from Barry Goldwater, Ronald Reagan, and that part of the Republican Party. So before you come at me and talk about liberal talking points, why don't you talk about the conservative talking points that have had disastrous effects? Because we forget about this.
Okay,
all those states that voted for Republican, all those states. No. Name me, because you were talking about.
Darius,
yes.
Darius, wait, name me one conservative talking point that has had a disastrous effect on black people. Because everything I've seen that has a disastrous effect on black people came from liberals like Joe Biden. So you tell me the one thing, give me one thing conservatives have said or law that they've passed that has disproportionately impacted black people. And when you do that, I'll agree that everything you say is right.
So we can talk. So the very first thing we can talk about, one, is the gun control legislation passed in California under Governor Ronald Reagan, dealing with the Black Panthers in 1966. We can talk about the busing laws that were passed in the South in 1968 throughout the 1970s, a part of Lee Atwater's Republican Southern strategy. We can also talk about those two legislations.
Proportionally, listen.
Yeah, it disproportionately affected black people.
Darius, hold on. You're not listening to what I'm saying. Name something that disproportionately impacted black people, because the gun control laws under Ronald Reagan in California, right, which that was a state matter, and Ronald Reagan don't control state matters, so you're wrong there. That disproportionately.
He was the governor. He was the governor of California. The governor has power over the state of California.
Listen. What I'm saying is this. You have to understand. that affected white people way more than black people, because historically speaking, white people have owned guns in way more numbers than blacks. So the Black Panthers probably was the only black people rolling around with guns, and that was not a large part of the population. So how did that, once again, disproportionately impact black people when most of them didn't own guns anyway?
They did in the Oakland area, so it did disproportionately affected black people. Because why would they have put it? Because if it wasn't disproportionately meant to help black people, to hurt black people, then why would you pass it in the first place? You passed a law to control something. So if they did not want to stop black people from getting guns, why would they put that there? They put it there because they didn't want black people with guns. Once again,
wait. So when we talk about gun control in California today, which is still impacted by those laws passed, Dinas, you answer this question for me, being from the Bay. Who are the number one people going to court fighting against the gun control laws in California because they are affected by that? Black or white?
White people.
Exactly. That didn't
white conservatives.
Bro, that did not disproportionately affect blacks, my brother, or else blacks will be going to court to try to push back the law. Whites were impacted. That's why many white people won't even live in California. So because you can't say that impacted us. Black people historically are not big gun owners. So can you give me something that's real, or are you just gonna throw a gun out there knowing that when black people
it's not just gun. We can talk about once again with the busing in the South in the 1960s, late 60s, specifically 68, and that had a disproportionate effect on black children because it was proven that busing had allowed black students to have higher grades. It allowed black students to get access into, of course, the corporate field.
Democrats who did that. So that was Democrats.
You brought up Brandon. You brought up Thurgood Marshall. Who appointed Thurgood Marshall?
Wait, can I say? Let me say this. Hold on.
No. Answer the question. Answer the question.
Who appointed
Thurgood Marshall?
Listen, listen. We're not gonna do the liberal thing. Jump it. This is with Roland Martin stuff. Jumping from one spot to another. Listen, you said busing. We know that your liberal god, Joe Biden, who you love, was one of the main opponents of busing. Even Kamala Harris, his running mate now, got on stage at the debate and talked about him being against busing. So first, before I answer your next question, I want you to say, who are the biggest proponents of busing, liberals or conservatives?
Both.
No, come on, Darius.
No. Because if it was, those liberal states would have done it harder than the conservative states. And that's a fact. They had to desegregate the South harder than they had to do in the North.
You went back to the 60s when the Dixiecrats and the Democrats were the most racist party in politics, trying to find a place to say the conservatives was hurting blacks. You have no real response to my question.
Okay, so my question is, once again, here's my question then. What southern states vote Democrat now? They all vote Republican. So the states that were once Dixiecrats are now Republican states, aka Dixiecrats took over the Republicans.
I'm asking you, what laws have the conservatives passed that disproportionately impacted blacks? That's the question I'm asking you. Because what I'm seeing and what we all know
forced busing. Literally,
liberals. That was Democrats.
No, it wasn't.
Okay, I don't.
Darius, hold on. Darius. Please tell me which state, liberal or conservative, in which white parents want to send their schools with black children.
New York, some of it. New York, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Rhode Island.
Dinus. It was Democrats who did that, Dinus. And Darius is trying to.
Who were the states that were against busing? Who were the states that were against busing? Because I can name them right now.
I'm talking about the conservatives or Democrats, bro. Was it the Democrats or the Republicans? The Democrats was the people you voting for right now, Democrats, right? All of Joe Biden was a notorious racist. You can't win when the person who you voted for and their running mate were arguing on stage, and the one of them was calling the other one racist because he was one of the main endorsers of the busing stuff. So of the opponents of the busing, you literally lost at that point. So what are you talking about, bro? You need to get off of this liberal crap and realize that these people you're voting for.
So you said Joe Biden worked with those who were busing, right?
He was against busing.
who were against busing.
Kamala Harris said
In the
that. I didn't say
1970s,
that.
in the 1970s, right? In the 1970s, right?
Yes.
Weren't those also Republicans too? Because at the same time, like I said, the Southern strategy that was happening. So weren't those also Republicans too? And conservatives too? Like, because the party ideology switched.
Darius, nobody wants to send their children to school with black people. Period.
We know that. We know that. Okay, we're seen as the bottom of society. So yes, we know that. We know that. Most all ethnic groups do not like black people. The stereotype, yes, we know that. We know that.
Okay. So
I'm not denying. I'm not denying that reality.
Okay. So what are we arguing for?
No, he's trying to argue the fact that RBG. I mean, Darius is radicalized in line with liberal talking points. So he's not going to actually address any real specific anything. He's going to speak in like very generalized, skewed language, because he can't admit that Bader Ginsburg just never did anything for any black person. He wants to say, but it laid the foundation and all this stuff. So you said that the Klan stringing niggas up and having picnics laid the foundation for your family reunions today. No, bro, that don't work. That don't equate. It's like you said that they did that to benefit them. And because in some roundabout way we benefited from it, that doesn't mean that it laid the groundwork for us. That meant they did something for them and we benefited from it slightly because we just happen to be present. That's like if I throw money in the crowd, everybody might get $1 just from being there.
Right.
But that ain't like I handed them specifically $1 million. So, and that would be doing something specifically for a person, So you gotta come stronger than that, bro. Like, I'm sorry, but you're young, you're a young guy, and there's nothing wrong with that because there's plenty of smart young guys, but you need to start looking at things for what they are versus what you want them to be. And that's what we do.
Listen, Brandon. Once again, I'm not saying Ruth Bader Ginsburg is perfect. I'm not saying that. I'm saying what she did paved a way and did benefit black women. It may not benefit much, but it been a little bit.
Give me a freaking example of what she did other than just saying the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment itself is a very generalized document or a part of the Constitution. It's very non-specific. Very. Did you know that the 14th Amendment even protects corporations, saying corporations are people too? So it keeps states.
I heard about that ruling. Yeah, I heard about that ruling. It was applied. Yeah.
So what it does too is it keeps states from actually going after corporations that do things that basically harm people within the state by saying that the corporations are protected by the same rules that protect individuals in the 14th Amendment. So you can't, you got to treat Microsoft like John down the street. Microsoft like, yo, we want to water our grass, but we got 10,000 acres. They have every right to do that, just like John has the right to water his lawn every day at 4 p.m. It doesn't equate. So you're speaking, like I said, in very generalized terms, talking about a very generalized amendment, trying to squeeze Ruth Bader Ginsburg into that. Basically, you're using that to in a roundabout way, say that what she did support us. No, she didn't, bro. She was fighting for white people. She's Jewish. She married an Austrian guy. She was fighting for whites, basically saying, I'm not going to let these NIGGERs get all the benefits of these laws that they got passed for them. I'm going to figure out a way to get my people to manipulate it, to get my people stuff from it. And that's exactly what she did. So when you tell me it paved the way, yeah, you're right. It paved the way for what we got right now. There's no affirmative action in any of these states anymore. White people and Asians have benefited more from civil rights legislation than blacks. Indians are about to take over California, thanks to Kamala Harris. You got to tell me, how did this pave the way? If it paved the way, you
said Asians benefit more from affirmative action. Then why are they doing lawsuits against affirmative action?
Because they got rid of affirmative action. They got rid of affirmative action. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They was first benefiting from it, but then when the black people sued, saying that, yo, this is not benefiting us, it's benefiting them more, then the Asians came and was like, yo, we need to just get rid of affirmative action. And if you go to the states, most states have no more affirmative action. California just passed a thing keeping affirmative action out of California. So like I'm telling you, if it paved the way for the good, it paved the way for the bad. If I throw a stripper party at my house today and I say, bro, that was all good, I paved the way for the syphilis that's going to result tomorrow as well, bro. I can't just take credit for the good. PA's in the house. We about to get a whooping now. I'm going to mute my mic.
You got jokes. Can you hear me clear? I just want to make sure my actual audio is good to go.
We can hear you.
Bro, you
Okay.
good. Sound
All
great.
right, bet. Most definitely.
Come here, your food is here. Come eat your food, and you go upstairs, you wash your hands, you use the bathroom.
You muted, BA.
Yeah, no. I wasn't going in. I was just letting you brothers continue to talk.
Oh, yeah. So
No, we waiting for you.
Yeah, we in for you. But I'm just saying, bro, people love to use that pave the way crap. So did that pave the way for George Floyd too? Did that pave the way for all these cops getting off with institutional racism? Because the corporations and institutions are people too. They have rights too under the 14th Amendment. Yeah. So it did pave the way to more white dominance and white supremacy. But you like, nah, I don't want to see that part. You put the blinders on to the reality. Ruth Bader didn't do nothing for black women, or black women have always been in the workforce, always worked hard beside their husbands. They've never had the privileges of white women. So what did Ruth Bader Ginsburg do? She didn't pave the way for them. She just brought them in to help them hold up the pedestal that white women are standing on to this day. To this day.
I'd definitely like to add something in there also too. A lot of the times we get things twisted, especially about the black male and the black female relationship. Black men in particular in the United States history, and I would even add this, have always been pro women more than any other group of males, period. So there's a professor that used to be at the university in Texas, but now he's in actually UK now, and his name is Tommy Curry. And there's a lot of mythology around black men and their involvement with black women. And there's this narrative around that we were so against black women. And the first thing that black men actually did with their vote was to vote pro black women in things that would benefit the women in their community. That's their wives, that's their daughters, that's their sisters, that's their cousins, that's their aunts. So we have to use our brain in some shape, form, or fashion instead of letting people just say, we're going to rewrite your history right here, right now, because it doesn't compare to the rest of information. And I'm going to actually go back to why those women were mad about black men actually getting those quote unquote rights and the ability to actually vote, was because they thought that they were above everybody else in the first place. And of course, there's massive amounts of actual information where, the liberal movement that was put out by the feminists of that actual group were actually making arguments that black men weren't even men. So that was the issue, that they weren't even men or civilized to actually vote, period. It had nothing to do with us being a men or not, or getting the vote before they did. It was just like, hey, why are you letting these savages vote? So let's go back to the actual thing. We go back and forth about the liberal, we go back and forth about the conservative, but I've always offered the actual position that we need our AB PAC, and that's a American Black PAC, right? So we just focus on Black American Public Affairs Committee, where we have our lobbying group that we advocate for pro-Black policies in the Congress and executive branch, no matter if it's Democrat, Republican, Green Party, Independent, instead of constantly going back and forth on these gang wars, with whether it be liberals leading us or whether it be the conservatives really leading us or other groups and individuals. We really have to sit down. And if you're going to make points of, hey, this person, one, paved the way, and this person, two, did this, so let's sit together and actually line those points up and stop getting played back and forth for one plantation to the next. Other groups do not do that. And I actually got that from the APAC, which is just American pro-Israeli PAC, where they don't care who gets in. Whether it be Obama, they're going to get $38.8 billion in military aid. And whether it's Trump, they're going to get that peace agreement in Jerusalem named their capital. They don't care if he said something, that there was good people on both sides in Charlottesville, they'll condemn the act. But guess what? They're still going to get that Trump peace plan. So we have to make sure that our agendas get met, no matter who's in, and stop claiming and actually repping these sides and rep being black. Rep black people as hard as you rep the liberals. Rep black people more than you rep the conservatives. Rep yourself, be one all day, Africa for Africans.
And you know, BA, that's exactly what I was saying.
I have no argument with that. I'm in complete agreement with that.
Listen, I was just you listen. No, you don't agree with that because, like I said, black people need to sell their vote to the highest bidder, whoever's going to give us what we want. You ain't even entertaining the conservative side. If the Democrats was going to give you something or give us something, I would go with the Democrats. Look, Bernie Sanders, for example. If Bernie Sanders didn't get sabotaged twice, I probably would have voted for Bernie Sanders because there are black people who I feel would benefit from what Bernie Sanders was claiming that he was going to do, right? So I would have sold my vote to Bernie because I was like, yo, Bernie let the BLM get on stage with him, and he was talking about stuff that our people would, might benefit from, free healthcare, free college, stuff like that, right? You can tell a kid to go to college, especially if it's free, right? I would have voted for Bernie. But once I saw that they was putting back in the old guard, I was like, hell no, I'm going to the other side with the other person who's doing stuff to benefit black people, which last time I so eloquently broke down for you in our last debate. So that's what I'm saying. You're not going to do that, Darius. Let's be real. You ain't voting conservative no matter what. They could say we giving every nigga $10,000. You not going to vote for them. You're going to be like, no, because I know you're not, because you already find a way to rationalize everything liberals do without no real explanation or evidence that it actually directly, beyond a doubt, unequivocally benefits blacks. So you can't say you agree with BA, because BA is like sell your vote to the highest bidder and make sure you give it to whoever's going to do something for you. You're like, nah, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, they'll buy you for the funny, like Wingstop.
Can I respond to that for a second? First of all, number one, I've criticized many liberals on their policies. I'm not just a strictly 100% pro-liberal person. I've called out Ruth Bader Ginsburg, what she did, specifically when she referred to Colin Kaepernick as stupid. I called that out. I've called out Joe Biden's policies and his wrongdoings. I'm not here with this holier than thou. Joe Biden is perfect, this, such, that, and the third. But at the same time, I do not agree with Brett Kavanaugh being appointed. I do disagree with how Trump is doing with the post office, what he's doing with the courts. So that's why I'm against what he's doing, as well as what he's doing with the environment, because I'm not just looking at this from a microcosm level.
How does any of that affect B1? How does any of that affect B1? You just named a bunch of crap that's white people problems. How does any of that affect black people? So go on with the generalized explanation roundabout, justification of it. Because none of that affects a black man or woman in America.
Yes, the post office does, because the post office is the number one employer of black people, and black voters are just as likely to send in their mail-in votes. And since Trump's trying to hammer that, black voters are more likely to get rejected with their mail-in voting. So that's one reason why I'm against that. Another issue is with the courts. There have been Supreme Courts that have literally shot down voting rights and civil rights protections. Okay, we saw that with Comcast right now when they were fighting with the Supreme Court, when Byron Allen had to fight against Comcast. We see this now with the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act.
Darius, please tell me
the Supreme Court is 5-4.
Darius, tell me the black content that Brian Allen's putting out. The B1. Please tell me the B1 content that Brian Allen is putting out.
It's not specifically,
Weather channel.
Yeah. The Brian Allen, man. Yeah, the Brian.
Look, I can look up the weather on my phone. Byron Allen just went. Do you go to school, don't you, Darius?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the students are usually the most easily impressionable group in the community. And that's why, like, even when you look at Iran, they used the students to start the Iranian Revolution. And the students went and got rid of a person who had helped Iran make.
Same thing with Liberia. With Liberia.
They used the students to throw out the dude who was actually giving women and everybody else the biggest educations and the rights. And they used the students to get rid of him and bring in a dude who was a religious fundamentalist who got rid of the education and all that. The students you guys are just so emotional because you're
talking about the Shah. You're talking about the Shah, who was a brutal dictator who, mind you, came as a result of Mohammed Mossadegh coup in 1953. So you're talking about a Shah. You're talking about a Shah that literally was a brutal dictator.
Darius, who did they replace him with?
The Islamic Revolution, Ayatollah. I don't know how to pronounce the name.
Right,
It's
right,
Ayatollah.
right,
It's called.
right.
It's
Wait,
the
Darius,
19. It's the 1979 Islamic
Darius.
Revolution.
Wait, hold
Ayatollah
on, hold on. Wait, hold on.
I don't
I
know
would
how
say
to
that.
pronounce it. Ayatollah Khomeini. Ayatollah Khomeini. Like I know it, the son of Khomeini. I mean the father of Khomeini. Don't know how to pronounce the first one's name, but they put him in.
Yeah, go
He was
ahead,
a
man.
popular
Okay,
No,
person.
no.
hold on. But Darius, who would you rather live under, the Shah or fucking Ayatollah?
The Shah, bro, the Shah led the white
Neither,
revolution.
neither,
No,
neither.
Darius.
Bro,
You were just defending
Dinus,
the coup.
Dinus. The Shah led the white revolution where Iran became competitive with first world countries, and they projected that Iran would be a first world country within 5 years. And he got on TV and said that Iran would be greater than Britain. And from that moment on, the West began to strategically remove him from power when they burnt up that movie theater and let people believe he had did it. Who went out and protested that? That was the students. We all know who Khomeini did that. And then all of a sudden, who was exiled and then was brought back into the country? Who smuggled the
But how did the
religious?
Shah get into power in the first place? How did the Shah get
Wait,
into power in the first
yeah,
place?
The United
wait, hold on. I think the primary point of what Brandon was just trying to say is students are just gullible sometimes,
go.
or they can be impressionable. That's it. We ain't got to get into the history of the Shah and when the Shah
Yeah,
was coming with the Sunnis and when they linked up in the Middle East and all this other stuff. But I think that's what he was just trying to translate, and we can go focus back on that part where it's just saying the young is impressionable and they could be utilized to overthrow or destabilize things that for otherwise might be or maybe not organized. So I think that was the primary part about it. But see, this is what the good part is about having a organization like AB PAC, right? Because Brandon, let's say you come into the room and you're making your case about, hey, blacks, let's look at this. Let's look at this and what tangibles is. And we're going to let Brother Darius come in and also and do his thing. And once he starts talking about Iranians and the nuclear energies of the global and saving the albino squirrels, then the actual audience themselves would say, hey, who are we going to listen to? And then out of that, then we're going to make a consensus of where we're going to put our time, energy, resource, and labor. And he's going to get people like that too, who say, nah, I'm kind of rocking with what he says. And that's completely fine. And then they'll actually support him. But the going back and forth about which plantations really got our back is a crazy nonsensical part where it's like, hey, let's make this happen. Let's not, sit down and say, what do we say right now while Trump's in office? Not my president. I'm not involved. Everything is just negative when things need to get done, whether it be this 4 years that just about to pass and possibly another 4 years. So we really have to get our crap together and figure out how we're going to move forward instead of just going back and forth. And next thing you know, black people are listening and we're talking about Iranis and Shunies and the overthrow of some government somewhere. And they're like, yo, bro, I can't even point out where those places are. So we need to really focus on where our people are and get them the information that they need and the conversations that they need to hear.
1 second. Larry Wilson. Shout out to Larry Wilson for the super chat. Again, Larry Wilson, I'm not super chat for your donation. Thank you for the donation, Larry Wilson. I appreciate it. Black Opal, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I want to comment on Darius's claim that Black women may have benefited from Ruth Gator, RBG, whatever her initials are, benefited from her work, which I feel like possibly yes, because women are women, but definitely less than I think we really do. And I don't personally know exactly what she's personally done or how she personally feels about Black people, but I'm pretty sure. Well, I'm not pretty sure, but I think she was more focused on women in her community. Now, we do have this sense of feeling like the feminist movement automatically trickles down. Like we just expect it to trickle down to Black women or women of color. But it's funny that when we get things passed, like the civil rights law and affirmative action, we benefit from it less than other groups. Yet when they pass things, we expect it to trickle down to us. So that's kind of bizarre to me. But I do get what Darius saying. I feel like we Black women have probably benefited from it a bit, maybe intentionally, non-intentionally. I don't know.
It's trickle
But
down.
I
It's Black Opal. It's trickle down. It's trickle down.
I thought that's what I said.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
But I definitely do understand that. Yes, when it comes, I feel like Black men, of course, y'all do have more power than us because y'all are men at the end of the day. That's just the truth. And I feel like some Black men
Are you
realize
saying
that.
physical strength or political power? Because no, we don't.
No, power in term. Well, strength is relative because you could have a scrawny guy and a built woman. But I mean, like in general, in terms of society, like yeah,
Please tell
y'all
us
do.
what power in society Black men hold, because this is a delusion women have that I don't understand where it came from. What do we control in America?
Really? Okay. So y'all really think like y'all are equal to us in terms of power in society?
Yeah, you had a Black president who couldn't even do crap. His wife got more pull than he does. So tell me how. Yes,
Well,
tell us what.
that's not representing of Black men
Brandon,
and Black women.
Tell me
That
Brandon,
what
you
power
can't. I
Black
don't think
men
you can
wield in
compare that.
society.
Really, I don't think you can compare that.
Okay, just
That's
tell me
that's on
what
Brandon,
him
power.
and that's
Brandon,
on his wife. That's not on. But I think in
Brandon,
society
I have a
in general,
question.
just for example, we got a Black male president first before a Black woman president. So
Brandon, I'll respond. Brandon, I'll ask the question. I'll ask this question right now. If
Go
a
ahead.
Black woman right now, what you say right now, we're about to take up arms, is white society going to take that serious? Now, if a group of armed Black men say we about to arm and we're about to do something, who's going to take who serious?
The
Black men or
NFA.
Black women?
exactly, I'm
Wait,
not
wait, wait.
saying that
Who's
Black
going to
women
take
aren't strong. I'm thinking
Are
more
y'all
in
gonna let me
serious?
answer?
society.
Are y'all gonna let
Please,
me answer?
yeah,
Yes.
go ahead.
Okay, I can't talk. We could sing together, but the NFAC just took up arms and went to different states with guns. White people didn't even care. They were like, they're not gonna do nothing. They probably think women, because Black women be so aggressive, they probably would be more trip harder off of Black women doing it, because they'd be like, these women might be crazy enough to shoot somebody. Because I know if I saw a dude walking down the street screaming and yelling, I would probably think he was less likely to shoot than if I saw a female running down the street screaming and yelling, because when I saw somebody doing that and it was a female, she actually shot somebody in the chest. I've seen that. Don't tell me
Okay,
my uncle's baby mama stabbed his girlfriend in the chest with a knife. I ain't never seen no man do that in broad daylight. So
Brandon.
either way, they're not taking Black people serious if they got guns
Okay,
or
you're
not.
right. Okay, Black
Well,
people as a whole, but who are they most likely going to listen to or take
wait, hold on, wait,
serious?
hold on.
They
Black
I think
probably
at
men.
that, I
Black
think at that
men.
point, I think at that point, if you ask him a question and you're like, okay, he's right, then we'll just move on because he kind of just answered the question and it was right. So boom. So I think at the end of the day, yeah, we do get things confused. Yes, you can start to think that, oh, hey, it's a trickle down thing. Now, this doesn't make any sense. Like Dinah said, because the European men get jobs doesn't benefit Black men. So how is it reversed, right? It really just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. Just
Yeah,
because you
yeah.
have the same
We live
organs
in a
or you same GMO, that means no. Listen, if you really read history and if you know anything about the present, you don't need to even go back in history. Another group of women doing certain things in activity does not represent women of a entirely different group. How is European women being beneficial to women in the Middle East? Right? They're going to actually be the head of the FBI and the CIA that goes over there and bombs them. So you act as if they're not getting positions within their power structures and then utilize that and mechanize that position in that power structure to oppress other individuals and even other women of different nations. It's a battle versus groups and nations. And it's not like, hey, well, hey, how does that even make any sense? Just because one
okay.
woman get something written in law, it just goes all women in the universe just because they're all the same biological makeup when it comes down to something like being a female. It hasn't worked in our times
I don't
previously
think it's
before,
universal though.
Black
and
Can
it
I give you
doesn't
an
ambassador.
work like
example
that.
you gave with the women
I'm
in the
just
Middle
trying to.
East?
Go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead. What you
so
saying?
for example, women in America here can drive a car. So a woman in the Middle East who, for whatever reason, in
And
their country they
they'll
can't
drive the
drive cars,
cars, and
they
they
can come
do.
here and drive vehicles because here
But guess
women
what?
can.
Guess what?
So it's not just because
Those same
it
women who
does.
drive cars in America drive tanks and Humvees in the Middle East and blow up those other women. So I don't know where you get a sense like they're not
Hold on.
opposing forces, like they're not
Okay,
in
and there
different
are
nations.
Muslim women here who are in the
Black
military who go over there and do
And
that.
they go do the
That's
same
Black
not. I
thing.
don't
Opal,
think
Yes.
I
that's a
would
good
So what I'm
Black
comparison.
Opal,
saying
I'll
is when they
respond to
pass
that.
a law, oh, go ahead, brother.
I'll respond to that. Okay, during the Cold War, when the Soviet Union became a communist nation, why did the US do this containment policy? What was the containment policy? If one nation falls to communism, all the other nations were going to fall to communism. That's why we had the Korean War, we had the Vietnam War. That trickle down effect. That's the reason why Castro came into power in Cuba, and why they tried to surround Cuba,
Listen,
and why they've had an embargo there. The trickle down effect does play a factor.
we be talking about black people, and you always
Israel.
go to them. You be going
Okay,
all
we can
across
talk.
the
Okay,
globe.
we can talk about black people and the trickle down effects, right? Or trickle down effects, right? Didn't what we do here in America also trickle down to other black people across the globe? Apartheid South Africa, at the time Rhodesia. Remember those HBCUs that we built that also affected black people there in the continent too? Okay,
So wait,
and then
so are
African
we
leaders
on
also.
opposing different teams? Those people that you named, are we on opposing different teams? You said black people in America got one thing, and then didn't that help people in South Africa? Those are two different black people. You should be B1. You should be able to correlate that those two groups are black people. Now, when we talk about white women and we're going to
But
talk
they were
about black
not all
women,
black
those are
people.
not.
There were black people who were
Listen,
opposed
listen,
to.
listen. Because what I'm saying, that's why you just don't jump into analogies because they don't make sense sometimes. You just compare black people making strides in America, helping black people in South Africa. Okay, boom, that's two black people. B1, B1. Now you go to the other thing what we were talking about is white women getting actually benefits. And then, first of all, stop the show. When were South Africans sitting up there doing all the things that other groups have done to us, another group of sets of women? You're not making any sense. That's what I'm saying. Just relax, calm down. And so what we're really talking about is there is no trickle down effect. You're opposing groups. You're not on the same team. Just get that crystal clear. Black women even knew that back in the past when, like you said, the actual white women came to the women in the Black Panthers movement and they said, we can't join you. We are two different communities. We are in two different fights, something that we seem to not understand today. So that's what I'm saying. You expect a European woman to trade on her brother, on her father, on her son for you? You're tripping. You're bugging big time. It is not for you. It is specifically for them. If anything, you scare them, no matter if you're a woman or if you're a man, and ask that across the board for real life stuff that black women go through. So I speak on the behalf of real black women, not boule and bourgeoisie and Harvard and Yale and Oxford black women. I'm talking about the real black women that find themselves trapped inside the zone, trapped inside the drug-infested community, trapped inside of the abortion clinics, trapped inside of the damn prison that gets them locked up in boxes and sent to jail and sent to all these other different types of pain and suffering that they go through. I'm not talking about no boule who go up there with, Becky inside of those colleges and universities and all of a sudden think it's a universal demographic, save the woman, we are one, Captain Planet type of thing. We want to sell, what we say, Dinus? Save the albino squirrel monkeys. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the real black women that's struggling day in and day out, and they're with the black man. And if you don't know, like I said, check out Brother Tommy Curry. You can go ahead, brother.
BA. The thing about all these arguments, right? And I do want to get back to Black Opal because she was making a point before she said the stuff about black men. But I want to say that nothing that they're saying is based in reality because in 2020, right? 2020, you're still asking and begging for the same shit you was begging for in 1962. So when you talking about it paved the way and all that stuff, what are you talking about? You're still asking for equality today, right now. And the best thing you could bring up is a bunch of chicks in the WNBA, which is only around because of the regular NBA, because no one goes to the games, because no one wants to watch women play basketball. That's the reality. That's the reality. Your daughter's gonna join the high school basketball team and get turned into a lesbian, bro. So
Brandon, we can't go to Brandon. We can't go. We can't, Brandon. Oh God, we
okay,
can't go there.
sorry, Lou. The spirit of Lou Major got me. The spirit of Lou Major.
We can't go there.
Look,
We can't go there.
what did it really pave the way for, bro? More dysfunction in the black community, and you're calling that progress. You think that's progress, and my sister here thinks that the black men who can't even survive a traffic stop got more power than her in the United States. Like, our bodies are piled up, bro. Piled up in the garage. And you talk about, well, y'all do. We got the most power to attract bullets. We like magnets. Black people are in the same position, despite gender, despite, anything. We are all sitting directly at the bottom, glued to it, okay? We can't do nothing y'all can't do. Y'all can't really do nothing we could do. That's
Brandon, I disagree. There is something called intersectionality, and it is true that y'all do benefit from your being a man. Just like
university.
That's a liberal dog whistle. Intersectionality.
No, can we let her give an example? She said she had an example.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
Give your example.
I can recognize it. I'm not saying you do it on purpose. It's not, that doesn't make black.
Can you give your example? You said, for example,
reality.
Black opal. Okay.
Okay, you want an example?
For example, okay, so I am a black woman and I'm straight. I think I benefit more from being a straight woman than a black woman who's gay. Now, that doesn't mean I'm a homophobe, but it's the truth, and I can say that.
Black opal. Right now, okay, hold on. I got to interject on that one. Right now, what's being pushed in the black community is the 3 women, predominantly gay, who founded Black Lives Matter. Like, these women are on a pedestal right now.
Dinus, she just said black men have more power than black women. I said, give an example. She immediately referred to a straight black woman having more access than a gay black woman. Where do black men factor into that? You not even talking about the same thing.
Okay, we can talk disproportionately about how black men and black women.
Okay,
black women are not as black men are not as objectified as black women are. This has been a fact. There is an objectification of women, especially black women. Black men, we are not objectified the way black women are not.
Darius, who forced Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion to do that rap video? Who forced them to do that?
Black men.
Okay, but not all black women who are objectified. They don't represent us. They that's not
Brandon. Okay. When does society say to black men, okay, you have to wear this, you have to wear this, you have to wear this? We expect our women to dress a certain way, whereas men, we get to do as long as the man has this. It don't matter. It doesn't matter about.
Oh my God!
Brandon.
Pull your pants up.
Brandon. Oh, Brandon, didn't Shazar Ali say, man, the black man ain't told the black women what to do since they ever came to America? She said that's far and gone the times where we run around here giving black women any type of orders.
All we that can do is
wait one thing. Brandon, let me ask you a question. Every black man who decided to be a leader in his community and for his people, I'm pretty sure they were assassinated and dead. That's
David's still alive.
Alive and still writing books about feminism today. So that is the consequence for black men standing up. It's just death. So the other things might come with things like you said, brother, being disrespected, stereotypes, but death comes with black men taking up the mantle of trying to do for the people.
Because society sees black men more of a threat and more serious than black women. Otherwise, they would treat black men and black women equally. But because they go after black men are seen as a threat more.
Listen, bro, you just when you're just dead, all that other talking points that you got is irrelevant when somebody's just dead. So that's the seriousness of it. You can say that's why they see the society. That's a good reason why.
But
The end
black women
result
get
is
killed
someone.
too.
Wait,
So it's not like
wait, hold
y'all
on.
get killed and we
I'm
don't,
saying
or y'all get killed more. It's
the
not a
numbers are way higher. Numbers are way higher. I'm not saying it doesn't happen at all. Never. I never said that. But what I'm just saying is all the justification, which you said, that's because you guys are okay, Roger that. But the end result is the thing that matters the most. And the end result is the loss of black life. And let me clarify this. We're supposed to be V1. We're supposed to be having some organized, constructive conversation. And this is what it ends up being. Black on
I
black,
believe this is
political,
organized and
intellectual.
construct. We're not
Let me finish
against
real
each
quick.
other. We just have
No,
difference
no,
of
no.
opinion. There's nothing wrong
Okay,
with
that's
that.
completely fine.
And Black Ambassador.
If black men had power, you wouldn't be interrupting black ambassadors every time he talk. We
Hey,
don't.
hold on,
First
We're
of all,
both black men. We're black men, though. We're black men.
Black Opal, can I
Like,
ask a question? Black Opal, can I ask a question? Who has
Yes.
more power in the child family court system, black men or black women?
Black women, because
Oh,
because of sexism, I think, because women are expected to care more for kids and be more nurturing. So that we're, of course, they're going to give the child or side more with the mother because we're more expected to take care of our children and to be more nurturing, etc. So
Right. That's
it's
why.
almost
That's
like
why I
your
babysit my
own
sister kids
sexism
6 days a week.
fights
And
against
look,
you.
Dinus. I just want to speak to a point they both made because this conversation ain't going nowhere. They said no. Darius said nobody ever tells, and BA is gone. He's like, I'm done. But anyway,
he probably dropped off.
no, he probably tried. But look, so they were talking about when are black men ever told they got to wear this or got to wear that. Dinus, you worked in corporate America. What uniform did you have to wear to work in corporate America?
I have to wear a suit every day.
Okay.
What do black women have to wear?
Wait. We're not talking about black men having to do something or not having to do something that black women have to do. What we're saying is in society, black men and black women are sitting in the equal place. Y'all are told what to do, what to think, what to wear. Black men are told the same thing. We're told how we could talk. We got to cut our hair just like y'all can't show up with our natural hair. We can't show up with our natural hair. We got to wear a suit just like y'all got to wear a suit, a dress suit.
In fact, Brandon, let me address that. You're absolutely right. So there was a brother that came to interview for a job, had cornrows, clean, articulate. They wouldn't hire him because of his cornrows.
Yep. No, I know. So what we're not arguing that black men have to do something, that black men have to do things that black women don't have to do. And I think that's where the confusion is. What we're saying is the same restrictions that's put on you are put on black men. And there's a cracker named Alex Jones, right? Alex Jones, for as crazy as he is, there was this one interview I saw him do. And he said he grew up in East Texas picking cotton. And you can look it up on YouTube when he was a boy. They said, he said, one thing many people don't understand about being on a plantation is this. I grew up and picked cotton when I was growing up. The person who was in charge of every plantation from now all the way back to the day we got off those boats was the big black mammy. He said he was like, my daddy owned the farm and she was my boss, a big fat black woman who kept everybody in line and told everybody what to do. He said, my daddy took me by the ear, took me out to the field and said, here, he gonna work for you every summer. And she was his boss. Now, and he talked about how when they got off the ships, they would bring one black man in front of the women, cut his head off and say, look, if you guys don't keep these men in line and these children in line, we gonna kill them. We gonna do just like we did right here. And from that moment forward, the black woman was basically the mediator between the black man and child and the white man. And that's why what you'll notice is, just like you saw that time when those kids was out there riding in Baltimore or somewhere, the woman beat the snot out of her own son on the street. Remember that? She was slapping his ass all in the face because he was riding. That's why your mama always gonna jump out in front of white supremacy for you, even if you're a young black man, because the black woman is the mediator between the black man and the white man. She's the one who's supposed to keep us from going crazy so we don't rise up and go declare war on the oppressor. And she's done it since the plantation, and she does it now. And there's one question you'll never be able to answer that proves what I'm saying. Black women get killed too, but how many black male created organizations can go and leverage for benefits for compensation for a black woman being killed. There's not one in the country. Yet when a black man gets killed, BLM can go leverage, get donations, make agreements with the politicians, talk to the local government and all that stuff, and leverage kickbacks based on our death. They got paid for Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, and every other black man. Name one black male-created organization that's going to get some money based off of Breonna Taylor dying. There's none. There's none. So that's the difference. Y'all can leverage our death for compensation. We cannot leverage your death for compensation. So in essence, you guys are on the bottom with us, but white people will actually talk to you. White people ain't gonna talk to a black man over nothing. They're gonna say, "Get the hell out of my face." Da-da-da. And then,
Brandon, let me interject. So you do notice that's why, and dude, I don't want to start a gender war, but if you notice in corporate America, a lot of the HR roles are filled by black women.
Of course, that's just truth across the board. They do the hiring.
Darren, go ahead.
Hey, what's going on, man? Prince Dynast, thanks for having me on. And Brandon, man, you too funny, man. I just love your directness. Kills me every time. But hey, guys, I got a good one for you. And this for Black Opal. Earlier today, this guy's a friend of mine. I've been knowing him for years, probably about 20, 30 years. And I looked at one of his pages today, and he, talked about the Supreme Court justice, the former Supreme Court justice. But then in the end, he put, "Thank you, sister, for your service." SISTAH. Now, I asked you, Black Opal, because my wife, I think she was a little insulted by that. But then she went a step further. And then she said, "I think the Supreme Court justice would have been offended by that." What's your thoughts on that, Black Opal? What are your thoughts on her being called a sister?
I'm getting the idea that y'all think like I was standing for her, or I wasn't really. I don't know why they would call her a sister, because I don't know why black people do that, where we feel like we got to invite everybody to the cookout just because, I don't understand that. But she probably would be offended. I mean, I'm offended that they said, like, I don't even know where that came from or for what. But anyways, we're in the kind of space where everybody just wants to give out tickets to the cookout or whatever. I don't know where people are getting that she's done, because I've never seen that she's done anything for black people per se. I was just saying that I get what Darius could be coming from, thinking that possibly whatever she did for white women could possibly trickle down and positively affect black women. Do I know that for sure? No, but I could get why he thinks that.
But we're at the point, Opal, we can't be operating based on what maybe could sort of possibly happen. We are too close to the point of annihilation to be trying to see a point that may or may not be true. All you got to do is operate based on what you know and go ahead and do that. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. When I talk to my 11-year-old nephew, my 14-year-old nephew and my 11-year-old daughter, they're always trying to look at stuff from well, it could be this, but me, I'm a grown man. I got to pay bills. I can't go to the bank and say, well, if it wasn't for this, I would have been able to pay my mortgage. They take the house. The family is homeless. And when y'all get on these platforms, y'all black people are too busy trying to be sympathetic to everybody's damn opinion and not looking at the reality. Absolutely. If you don't got no work to back up what you saying, right, it needs to be ignored. There's 3 aspects to make it a real logical point. There has to be peer review. You got to know who taught the person, and they got to produce work. That's the reality. If you ain't produced, see, Brandon, Dynast, we didn't produced. We got a port. Look, this is what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Dynast, I was sharing with you some business stuff earlier about Africa. I got a resume of what I'm doing. You got a bunch of people who claim to want to do something. And that's why everybody can't be invited to the cookout, and everybody can't even be invited to the party. Darius, you come through to introduce an alternate perspective, which is good. But in reality, if I'm in the war room sitting, I'm in the situation room and we got something to do, I'm not going to invite you because you're trying to look at things from 100 different angles when we just got to go kill somebody. That's just the way it is. And we got to go handle it. But you're cool for this setting. But it's not a leadership role. And Opal, you a female. Like my wife, if I put her in here, my wife My wife won't even get on here because my wife is like, they both wrong. They don't know what they're talking about. We need black women who are ready to stand on something, not trying to twist their head towards every opinion, trying to justify it or make sense of it. You're a woman. You here. You have babies. You protect the family. You nurture the children. That's the designation. We're the men. We protect the family. We got to be willing to give our life to make sure the family flourishes. Beyond that, you have no designation. That is your designation. What are you going to do based on that to ensure the survival of your race? Not the opinions, not what might be true or what could possibly happen. What's happening and how are you going to respond to it and what's going to be the result? And if we all think like that in a hive mind, we might actually make some progress.
Brandon, can I respond to that?
You can.
Yeah. Okay, Brandon, like I said, with your Africa plan, I'm 100% for that. That's my primary focus. American politics is not my primary focus. My primary focus is strictly on Africa, investing in Africa. That's strictly my plan. I'm supportive of that. And make no mistake, I'm not looking for a leadership role. If I got to step back and be in the back, I'm okay with that. I'm cool. I do not feel the need to have to be the center face of anything. I just want to see Black people win. Now, you may disagree with my opinion, and I understand that. That's perfectly okay. At the end of the day, as long as you have the interest of Black people, I'm going to support you. I'm not going to sit here and say you're my enemy or you just have a different perspective, but I'm going to support you. I'm going to support your Africa plan. I'm going to support Dynast. I donate to his channel. So don't think I'm coming from this like, okay, that I'm going to somehow betray you guys because no, I would never do that. I'm focusing on Black issues. And I've called out plenty. I've had to cut white people off. I've had to cut numerous people off because of the racism that they've shown. Okay. All I'm saying is those other dynamics have to be recognized. Now, you may not be able to see them.
Well, why do they have to be recognized? You tell me what is the benefit of us recognizing those other dynamics, and then I'll recognize them along with you. What's the benefit of it?
Okay, so
it's white acceptance is what it is.
It's not. Okay, are you talking about validation from other groups or like the other things like the sexism, the homophobia, or that's the? Are you talking about other groups? Because if it's other groups, no, like that's not. I'm not desperate for no other group's attention.
We got on here saying Ruth Bader Ginsburg did nothing for Black people. You said, well, what she did do, it paved the way. You had to work harder to try to think of a way to say she did something that is some roundabout way help Black people. Then it would have took for you to be like, you're right. This never did nothing for Black people. Good riddance. That's the difference. That's the difference between somebody who's going to make progress and somebody who's going to sit up trying to justify Black people paying homage to their enemies. That's it.
Hey, Darius, did the CIA send you? Did the CIA send you? Just tell us the truth.
Stop there.
No, stop there. Like, really, like, come on.
He's just young. He's just young, Darren.
Yeah, I'm about to turn 21. I'm about to turn 21. Okay, I'm still in college.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So we all here are under the understanding that we're pro-Black, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So in being pro-Black, are you pro-Black LGBT?
I think it's a non-issue.
Dynast.
I don't think sexuality should be an issue. Why does it always come up?
It's
a non-issue.
Because I mean, okay, so I recently watched this video and a Black gay man who's usually very pro-Black and, but he claimed that he feels more comfortable in a white space. And that was bizarre to me because he's very pro-Black. And so I'm like, why is that?
My brother
Black
gets
Opal.
on the internet. My brother gets on the internet
because I feel like if we have our people feeling like they are quote unquote safer in a white space because of their gayness, I feel like that's not really being pro-Black.
Black Opal.
For me, pro-Black is pro all Black people who are on code though. Like if you're but. So if they're gay,
but Black Opal, I don't want to know what people do in their bedroom. Like I just
come on.
Dynast, Branding.
I don't want to like. That's a non-issue.
Okay,
no,
so
Dynast.
if per se a gay Black individual came onto here, y'all would be open and treat them.
I wouldn't even care if you're gay or not. I mean, just don't be trying to kiss on me or something. But other than that, I live in California, bro.
Black
There's a lot
Opal,
of gay
Black
people.
Opal, Black Opal. I'll be on Black Opal. You're talking like Black Opal, like that's me, just straight up. That's me. Okay, I have,
What's
like I
you?
said,
Maybe gay.
I'm Black LGBT, but I
Oh,
Yeah,
focus
I
on
don't
Black
care if you're
issues.
gay or not.
Yeah, like,
oh, I didn't know
but
that.
I think.
I was just asking. I wasn't trying to call you out. I
But
didn't
at the
know
same
that.
time, I do understand because I've had people who literally in my circle say, okay, I'm comfortable with you dating a white person. But then I'm like, you have a problem with somebody who's gay, but I'm LGBT who's interested in black people and you outcasting me. But meanwhile, the other person has a white person and they get accolades.
I mean,
I can
but Black Opal, this is
But
the
y'all
thing.
talking about black people
Black
not
Opal, this is the
so.
thing. But this is the thing. There's so many other issues. I mean, that are affecting the black community. I don't
there
understand why
are. There
people get
are.
tried
No,
up. Like, I
I'm
just
just
don't get
questioning,
it.
concerning because I don't want black people feeling like other black people are against them. And I feel like that
Yes.
is something
Opal,
that is out there, and we need to discuss it if we're
you can know. We don't have to discuss
pro-black.
it. Listen, you got to look. Black people
It's
got to
just
start
one
minding
topic.
their
I'm not
own
saying
business.
it's like, but it's just one topic I decided to bring up. I'm
Are
not
you
saying
gay?
it's like a major issue,
But
but
look, you're not gay. You're not gay. There are plenty of people waving the flag and fighting for gay rights in America, right? Black, brown, whatever. You got work you got to do as a straight black woman. You can't be
okay.
able to
But I'm
bring it up.
not worried about gay people. I'm worried about black
But you bringing
LGBTQ
them up.
people.
You're bringing up gay black
Yes,
people.
black LGBT because they are
I can.
black people. I'm worried about all black people.
It is, but at the same
And
time,
I feel like we are. I feel like when I heard that, it was like weird to me because I'm like, is that how? Because to me, I'm pro-black. To me, pro-black is all black
Why is
people.
a straight black woman bringing up issues about the black LGBT? If a black LGBT person was on here, you brought it up, and the person who's actually LGBT didn't even say nothing about it. That's one thing about women, and I'm married, so I'll tell you, women love to bring up stuff that doesn't have nothing to do with the conversation to try to deflect from the reality of acknowledging that they were wrong and they got corrected by
Because I
someone
feel
else.
like they're
We
a
went
more
from talking
marginalized
about
group in the black community. I do.
we went from talking about one thing. Now we on gay rights. It doesn't matter. Like this is about the stupid lady who died, and now we talk about gay. Darius is here. He said he's LGBT. No one cares. It's not an issue. So what you need to do is start. You need to
But
hang
why
around
can't we discuss
enlightened
it if it's a
people.
black issue? Why
Because
is it is a
Black
black
Opal.
issue?
This is the
If
Black
we're
Opal.
Black
concerned
Opal,
about the
Black
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 Opal.
Opal.
Can
issue,
I?
Black.
why
Hold
can't
on,
we
there.
converse about it?
Black Opal. This is the reason why we can't discuss it because it's such a distraction. Like there's so many more other prevalent issues, more important issues to discuss and
More
handle.
important to y'all because y'all aren't
Oh
gay or
my
y'all don't care.
god.
I feel like
But
if
you're
No,
we're
Black
saying
Opal,
concerned
Black
too.
about
Opal, Black
Hold
Opal,
on,
Black
Black
hold
Opal.
Opal,
I
on.
will
you
speak
said
on
There.
you
that.
said black issues. That is ultimately what this whole thing is about. Black issues, period. Not one specific thing. Not one
gay
thing.
black
Black
issues are
LGBTQ.
black issues.
Okay.
Black Opal. I'll respond to that. Okay. There are bigger issues. Like personally, that's not a problem. I'm talking to my friends about Africa and sharing videos about Africa. That only brings up if you ask me. Like that's not my focus or concern. I don't think about that on a
Well, it's
day-to-day
my
thing.
focus because there are a lot of black LGBTQ
Black
people
Opal, why are
being
you still?
killed.
We moved on, Black Opal. We've moved on. You still on this? You mean we
Okay.
moved on?
Like
She said it's her
we talking about
focus.
Africa.
We moved on.
You not
I
on
mean,
code.
Okay.
even the guy in the room who's part of the alphabet crew said, "Let's move on." And you still bring it up.
Black Opal. If it becomes an issue, then it becomes an issue. But if it's not an issue and it's thing it's bigger
So
fish
you
to
feel
fry.
comfortable?
Black
I'm
Opal,
just
Yes,
stop
asking.
it.
yes,
I'm just
yes.
asking. I don't know why
Stop it.
y'all feel like it's a. I'm just asking.
No, but Black
Darius,
Opal, this is the problem.
do
I'm
you
gonna tell
feel
you this
more
is the
accepted
problem.
by black people or
But Black Opal,
not?
no, but Black Opal. So you're proving Brandon's point right because what happens? Black men pass away at the unarmed black men at the hands of white police officers, and then here comes all of a sudden Team Alphabet to collect money for their initiatives and their agenda that does not go back to the black community, but it goes to a certain community and to white liberals.
And
Right
isn't that a problem? Shouldn't it go back to black?
but it's not.
No, because you got people, because now in America, being gay is more important than being black. And
Absolutely.
being gay is not why nobody's getting killed or hurt. People are being killed and hurt based on being black. So the primary issue is black people, not a gay guy feeling uncomfortable. So he gets on YouTube and says, well, this is why I hang around white people. Like I said, my brother gets on the internet and tries to champion the cause of black women while sleeping with nothing but white women and saying he would never date a black woman. The guy's just trying to make an excuse for why he's doing what he's doing.
That's that California. I got friends same way.
And Black Opal. There's no driving while gay. There's no shooting while gay. Like, I'm a black man, period. When people see me, it's a black man. They don't see, oh, he's part of the, like, no, that's not my issue, because
I'm not
when
saying
I get pulled on,
your gayness is more, it gets you in more
Did we
situations
know
than
he
your
was
blackness.
gay
I'm
before
just
he told us?
bringing up a topic that I felt we should discuss. I'm not saying
but Black
that
Opal,
being
Black
gay,
Opal,
you're more-
Black Opal. This is what we're trying to tell you. We're not discussing it because we have more prevalent issues to come.
It's the topic for another show.
Black Opal, what do you think?
I'm about to say it's a topic of another show. Yeah, you said it perfectly.
In fact, Black Opal, there's this dude's name Gazi Ketzo.
Oh, Kazi Kojo, he's my
go to Gazi Ketzo's page.
Boy, God,
there.
be vicious.
Yeah, go to his page. You can discuss all that you want to.
That dude is crazy. Hey, look, I'll tell you the truth. That dude needed some money to buy some protective equipment for, the COVID shit. I sent that dude a couple $100. I don't care if he's gay. He's helping black people. Go do your thing, bro. I'm not about to get up and hug with you or nothing like that, but he's a little flamboyant. Okay. Is he doing something for our people down there in Delaware? Yes, he is. He can be on my Facebook. He do a live. I'll watch it until he start getting too ridiculous. And then that's it. So it's really a non-issue. And I believe the majority.
So you just answered my question. That's all. You
I
said as long as they're for black people.
They said that like 5 minutes ago.
You never saw Holiday Heart. You never saw Holiday Heart. Black people are the most accepting out of everybody, bro. It's big.
Let's move on.
All right, Prince.
I'm ready to move on.
Darius, Black Opal, y'all have a good night. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right,
Darius.
Oh, man.
All right, let's move on. All right, so what we'll do, Brandon, we'll start closing out, but yeah, go ahead, Brandon.
Everybody got to be on code, man. It's like, even what we just talked about last time, like, it's like we got to be disciplined. You can't champion no cause unless you understand discipline. When we talking about one thing, we got to stay on that, because when we start polluting it with different topics, the overall message is lost. The lady RGB or whatever, she didn't do nothing for black people. Black women in this episode, there has not been one person who actually highlighted anything specifically that she's done for black people. Now, in the 60s, the 70s, 80s, and 90s, that was okay. But now it's 2020, and we are focused on exclusive tangible. That is the word of the day, the phrase of the day. Exclusive tangibles. Tangible, realistic things that we can touch and see that are exclusively given to just us. Anybody who haven't produced no exclusive tangibles is disregarded. They're wasted, like Tupac said. We are not out here talking to people, entertaining people based on what they might have done, or if you could look at it this way, you could see that they was doing it. It's all about, what are you giving us? If you're giving us something, we could talk. If you're not giving us nothing, we out, It ain't no conversation to be had. I even do that with my family members. Why are you here to see me? Oh, you trying to borrow money? Oh, you just trying to come see what's going on at the crib? Okay, I might not open the door for you. But we're not going to keep on doing what our ancestors and forefathers did, which was keep on giving people credit for not doing a damn thing for us. We got Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, freaking John Lewis, all these dudes who are heroes and champions of the black community for doing what? Nothing other than being used like political ventriloquist dummies for political parties. That's over. Those days are over. Please don't try to drag us back into that. We're moving forward. We want I don't care if it's a butter biscuit. It's got to be something that we can in hand. We got to be able to grab it, hold on to it, and utilize it, right? If they say we're going to give all y'all Negroes forks so y'all can eat steak with it, that is tangible. But none of this idealistic crap, hope and change. You see Obama sitting behind me with his old smooth face, but all that just with no action. And this is why I put this up behind me. If you look at all these people who are considered champions in the Black community, what did they tangibly produce for you? Nothing. And the saddest part is these are the people we've been told to look up to. And we're done with that. We're done. Like my brother said, they're gatekeepers. We're done. We need no more gatekeepers. Get on code, truly be on code, be disciplined. Discipline your mind and your tongue. Discipline your mind and your tongue. The most successful people look for the circumstances they want. If they cannot find them, they create them. We look for the circumstances we desire. We cannot find them. So now the burden is on us to create them. Thank you, Dinus. Thank everybody for watching. I got 2 channels, Necessary_Roughness and Pat Africanism Strikes Back. Come join me, and you're going to get more of that straight, raw truth. Peace, everybody.
All right, Darius, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for giving me the opportunity. Like I said, Brandon, you continue to enlighten me. So this is learning something every day. Dinus continue to support you. We do need to become more focused on tangibles and focused more on specifically us and not specifically, not focusing on so much what other people say. And the more that we start to do that, and the more that I start to do that, the better off we'll become and the less stress that will happen. So once again, Dinus, peace. Peace to everybody in the chat. Yeah, I'm out.
All right. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Also, make sure you go to africapersonified.org. Again, go to africapersonified.org. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let me share the screen real quick. I have adopted a school in Sierra Leone, and I am raising money for their school fees for some of the students. So please go to africapersonified.org, you guys. My nonprofit, or our nonprofit, 501c3. Please donate any free will offering. Again, free will offering that you guys contribute means a lot. So basically, you're going to go to ways to help, click on donate, scroll down, click on donate today. And again, we are raising money for the school that I adopted in Sierra Leone, in both Sierra Leone, to cover school fees for kids. So again, please go to africapersonified.org and donate, you guys. I would greatly appreciate it. Till next time, family, also go to dynasmir.com. Like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, family, Dynasty Mirror, search for Huru. Peace.